Chioma was a mysterious, breathtakingly beautiful 19-year-old woman of a Nigerian state university. She was so beautiful that no one looked at her once. You would always take another look to admire her perfect image of God. She was 5.8 feet tall, heart-shaped face, full lips, almond-shaped eye, smooth dark skin, and always wore fitted clothes that made her beautiful curves outstanding. At 300 level, she had already secured her reputation as the best performing student every year. What made her even more remarkable was how effortlessly she achieved this feat. Despite never attending most classes, her classmates could not comprehend it. They watched as she would stroll into lectures just before exams and tests, her flawless curvy figure attracting glances from every corner of the class. Yet, when the results came in, Chioma always emerged at the top. She was the subject of every conversation, a curiosity to everyone who knew her. With her radiant smile and stunning beauty, Chioma exuded an almost angelic charm. Her presence was magnetic, and she knew how to turn heads without saying a word. Yet, despite her beauty, her academic achievements were the real mystery. Her classmates could not figure out how she managed to outperform them when they spent hours on their books. The whispers started almost immediately. Is she sleeping with the lecturers? Is that why she always absents and still aces every test? Chioma was both a wonder and a puzzle no one had yet solved. The rumors and gossip soon spiraled out of control. Adaeze, the second best student in the class, was particularly vocal in her suspicion. Adaeze had always been known for her hard work. She would wake up early to study and stay up late to revise. She had earned her place in the top ranks of the class through sheer determination and discipline. So when Chioma, with her mysterious absence, took the top spot every semester, it didn't sit right with her. How is it that this girl never attends classes, yet she gets the best results every time? Is she using her body to seduce the male lecturers? Adaeze would ask her friends in hushed tones. And what about the female lecturers? She must have something going on with them too. Maybe witchcraft. Who knows what she's doing to manipulate them? The envy festered as the whisper spread. To Adaeze, Chioma was not a role model. She was a cheat, someone who had taken a shortcut to success. Adaeze's friends too began to question Chioma's academic integrity. It's not possible to do so well without putting in the work, they would mutter. Dr. Friday, a stern and seasoned lecturer, became increasingly frustrated with Chioma's pattern and behavior. He had taught at the university for years and had never come across a student like her, one who performed better than anyone else despite not showing up in class. Dr. Friday had never set eye on this Chioma. Is Chioma even real? Dr. Friday asked one day, after fruitlessly searching for her on campus. Who is she? Is she a ghost or some kind of genius? As the course advisor for the department, Dr. Friday took matters into his hands. He decided to hold Chioma's result hostage until she showed up. He needed an explanation for how she was consistently outperforming everyone without even breaking a sweat and attending any class. What no one knew was that behind Chioma's beauty and academic success was a life marked by hardship and sacrifice. Chioma was the eldest of 6 children born into a family that had been torn apart by tragedy. When she was 16, her father died in a devastating car accident, and her mother was left severely crippled, unable to walk, and confined to a wheelchair. Chioma's dream of becoming a neurosurgeon had been shattered in an instant, but her resilience and determination refused to be crushed. She had been an outstanding student all her life, and even though her future seemed uncertain, she refused to give up on education. However, the financial burden of supporting her family forced her to change her course. She enrolled in science laboratory technology despite knowing it was not her dream, because that was what she could afford. To make ends meet, Chioma worked 3 jobs, 2 during the day and 1 at night. Chioma didn't have the luxury of attending classes regularly, but she made sure to always carry her textbooks and study materials, whether it is during her lunch break, at work, or on a bus ride to her next job. Chioma found time to study. Her beauty, which many assumed was the reason for her success, was nothing more than a shield. It allowed her to blend in the crowd and be noticed, but it also helped her distract from the struggles she faced every day. Despite her exhausting schedule, Chioma maintained a flawless appearance. Her body remained the same perfect figure that she had always had, a testimony of her ability to juggle multiple roles while keeping up appearances. In a world full of envy and distrust, Chioma had one person who genuinely understood her: Blessing. Blessing was Chioma's closest friend in the department. The two had been inseparable since their first year, and while Chioma had always kept the details of her life private, Blessing knew enough to recognize the sacrifices Chioma made every day. Blessing had noticed Chioma's erratic attendance, but never asked her about it directly, until one day, after a particular grueling exam season, Chioma had texted her to send over some notes, and Blessing couldn't help but ask, "Why do you always miss classes, Chioma? You don't attend lectures, but you still manage to ace every test. How do you do it?" Chioma hesitated for a moment, her usual words coming up, but she trusted Blessing enough to tell her the truth. "I work to support my family. My mom, she can't work, and my dad is gone. I have to take care of my siblings. I can't always be in classes, but I always make time to study when I can." Blessing was stunned, but she didn't judge Chioma. Instead, she took it upon herself to help Chioma however she could, sending her notes, explaining complex topics over the phone, and offering encouragement when Chioma needed it the most. Though Chioma's academic life was a mystery to everyone else, Blessing knew that Chioma's success was no accident. It was the result of sheer determination and hard work, and the sacrifices she made every day to ensure a better future for herself and her family. Chioma stood outside Dr. Friday's office, her heart beating fast. She had been told that her result was seized by Dr. Friday, to be released only when she shows herself. With a firm knock on the door, she entered, her graceful presence filling the room. Dr. Friday, who had been scribbling notes on a paper, looked up. For a moment he froze, completely mesmerized by the woman standing before him. She was like an angel, the kind of woman he thought only existed in his dreams. His gaze lingered on her, completely lost in admiration. "Good afternoon, sir," Chioma greeted again, a little puzzled when he didn't respond. "Oh, good afternoon," Dr. Friday stammered, his voice shaky. He quickly cleared his throat, snapping back to reality. "Oh, yes, what can I do for you?" Chioma smiled politely. "I was told you wanted to see me." Dr. Friday furrowed his brow. "Are you sure?" I don't know about that. I am Chioma Nduka. I didn't see my result, and my friends said you wanted to see me before I could get it." Dr. Friday's eyes widened as he recognized the name. "Oh, you are Chioma, the genius," he muttered, more to himself than to her. Chioma flashed a smile that revealed her dimples, which only made Dr. Friday feel even more unsettled. He quickly shook his head and said, "Don't worry, I will release your result right away. I apologize for the misunderstanding, Chioma. You've clearly earned your spot at the top. See me in my office tomorrow. By this time, your result will be ready." As Chioma turned to leave, Dr. Friday watched her go, still lost in thought. Her beauty and grace left him speechless, but he knew deep down that it was more than just her looks that had earned her success. Outside his office, Adaeze and her friends had been waiting. The moment they saw Chioma walk out, they couldn't contain their whispers. I knew it! She's been flirting with Dr. Friday. That witch is using her beauty and her evil powers to get the best results," Adaeze said with utmost triumphant tone. "I told you," one of her friends added. "She's been messing with the female lecturers too, using her body to get ahead." The rumor was spreading faster than ever, and now they felt more certain than ever that their suspicions were right. Chioma was no longer just the girl who aced her text. She was the girl who had a dangerous secret. The whispers in the halls grew louder, spreading like wildfire through the university. Adaeze and her friends, now convinced of Chioma's so-called powers, took it upon themselves to make sure everyone knew the truth. She's been in and out of Dr. Friday's office, all dressed up and sweet-talking him. Adaeze told everyone and anyone who would listen. It is obvious she's using her body to get what she wants. She's corrupting the lecturers with her charm. Her words were like poison, and soon everyone in the department was gossiping about Chioma. The rumors didn't just stop with Dr. Friday. Now Chioma was being accused of manipulating all the male lecturers, using her beauty to seduce them into giving her perfect scores. It didn't matter that no one had seen her do anything inappropriate. The mere idea of her beauty and performance was enough to fuel the accusation. "She probably doesn't even study," one of Adaeze's friends remarked. "She just has to bat her lashes and they hand her the best grades." Even some of the female students began to question Chioma's academic success. How can she get all A's and never attend class? She must be doing something we don't know about, one whispered. Chioma, who had heard some of the rumors but chose to ignore them, now found herself at the center of a storm she never expected. The whispers had become shouts, and she was no longer just a student, she was a target. As the rumors escalated, Adaeze and her friends decided to take things further. They wanted to make sure that Chioma's reputation was scattered beyond repair. They came up with a plan, a clever trap that would expose Chioma for what they believed her to be. One afternoon, as Chioma was walking to Dr. Friday's office, Adaeze, along with a couple of her friends, carefully positioned themselves near the corridor. Adaeze had learned that Chioma would be going to see Dr. Friday to collect her results, and this time they were determined to catch her in the act. Chioma, unaware that she was being watched, entered Dr. Friday's office to collect her results, as she was told to come back that day. As she did so, Adaeze and her friends quickly began to take pictures of her scene from their hiding spots. They believed this was their best and golden opportunity to prove Chioma's alleged manipulation. "Good evening, sir," Chioma greeted as she entered Dr. Friday's office. "I have come for my results." Dr. Friday, who had been expecting this moment, was smiling foolishly. "Good evening, my dear," he said, leaning forward. "You are so beautiful. I guess God gave you the beauty of 7 persons," he said, putting his hand on her shoulder. Chioma quickly removed his hand and stood up. Chioma, not being comfortable with his behavior, said sternly, "Sir, please give me my results and let me leave here at once." Dr. Friday, shocked, quickly searched through his files and brought out her results like someone ordered by an armed soldier. "Here it is," he said, handing it over. Chioma quickly collected it and bolted out of the office without saying another word. Adaeze and her friends, who had been peeping from the corners, were disappointed but were not ready to stop. The next day, Chioma received a letter summoning her to a panel meeting with the school administration. Her heart raced as she walked to the meeting room, dreading what was about to unfold. When she arrived, she found herself face to face with a group of panelists, the head of department, and several other senior lecturers. Chioma Ndoka, the head of the panel, began. "You've been accused of unethical behavior by your classmates. The rumor claims that you've been using your beauty to charm and influence your academic results, including having relationships with some of the lecturers. What do you have to say for yourself?" Chioma felt the weight of accusation on her shoulders. It was hard to believe that this was happening to her, and her hard work and determination were being questioned. But she stood her ground. "These rumors are completely false," she said, her voice steady but tinged with emotion. "I have never used anyone to get ahead. I have worked multiple jobs and studied hard to get where I am. I would not let these lies define me." The room was silent for a long moment after they noticed the emotion and the sternness of her voice. Before one of the panelists spoke up, "While the rumors are damaging, we can't ignore them. We suggest that you repeat all your exams this last semester under supervision. That way, we can see if your results are truly your own." Chioma's heart dropped. It wasn't fair, but she knew there was no other choice. "I will do whatever it takes to prove myself," she said quietly, her voice filled with determination. The following weeks were grueling. Chioma had to retake all of her exams under strict supervision, with every single answer scrutinized. It was exhausting both mentally and physically, but Chioma refused to back down. She knew she had to prove herself once and for all. As she sat in the exam hall alone, with many lecturers invigilating her, she remembered all the nights she had stayed up late, all the hours she had spent studying between shifts. This was her moment to show the world that she had earned everything she had. No shortcuts, no tricks, just hard work. She finished her exam with a sense of pride. Whatever the outcome, she knew she had given her best. The day the result came in, the entire university was on edge. Everyone was waiting to see what Chioma's retaking exam would show. When the result was announced, Chioma had aced all her courses, even under the strictest supervision. When the news spread, there was no more room for doubt. The whispers died down, and Chioma stood tall. Her hard work and integrity had spoken for themselves. She had proved that her success wasn't due to manipulation or beauty. It was the result of her tireless effort and determination. Chioma's classmates, including Adaeze and her friends, were left in stunned silence. They had underestimated her, thinking that they could tear her down, but Chioma had silenced them all with the power of her results. The university, seeing the depth, the rumors and damage had caused, took swift action. Chioma was awarded a scholarship to finish up her first degree and also do her second and third degree in any school of her choice in Nigeria. In the same gathering, Adaeze and her friends, who had led the campaigns of lies against Chioma, were expelled for spreading false accusation and attempting to sabotage a fellow student's reputation. Chioma's victory was bittersweet, though she had pains because of the rumors and betrayal, but she was vindicated. She walked across the campus that day, head high. She knew one thing for sure: no matter what the world threw at her, she would always rise above it, and nothing, no rumor, no whispers could ever take her pride in her hard-earned success.